Hey guys, it's Roscoe on the Spicy Couch today. We're going to continue our look at my airline books, and this time we have this. This is all about LAX, Los Angeles International Airport. There you see the plan of the back. Now, this is several years old. I got this either the late 90s or the early noughties, so that plan has probably changed. So let's see what it has. So let's start off with the DHL DC-8 re-engined with the CFM 56 engines. In the early 80s, all of the old DC-8s got re-engined to prolong their life, and some of them are still flying for United and Delta into the 1990s. There, of course, we see Swissair MD-11, VASP MD-11, China Airlines 747-400. The old Asiana livery. I did like this one. This is one prior to the current one, the old Northwest livery on a DC-10, the bowling shoe, and then the specialised livery they had for their 747 freighters, part of Delta now, of course. Speaking of Delta, there is a TriStar, a Korean Air 747-400, and it looks brand spanking new there, and a FedEx DC-10. I think they still fly some DC-10s. Some more cargo airlines, DC-8 action here, Emery Worldwide and LAN Chile. They no longer fly this type. I think they still might though. There are still a handful of DC-8s flying. Long gone, this airline, Western Pacific, but all of their planes had a different colour scheme because they advertised. It was all advertising space. So you had multiple different things advertised on their planes. There we see a Transaero DC-10. I believe Transaero have recently ceased operations in the last 2 or 3 years or so, but they operated a former American Airlines DC-10 you can send by delivery for flights to Los Angeles and also I believe to Las Vegas. There's some more American Airlines and there's Air New Zealand there as well. A couple of little commuter beach aircraft running those local routes out of LAX. Alaska 737, you see a Virgin and a New Zealand in the background. Again, some more commuter planes. Southwest Airlines, one of their specialised ships, and that was a United shuttle by United that's long gone now. And there's another DC-8 freight carrier. What else do we have? Tower Air, long gone, of course. Thai Air Cargo, and this one, who is this? Miami Air, that's one of those like charter airlines for sports teams. The old Southwest livery, the old Northwest livery, and LTU 767, they're now part of something like TUI or Thomas Cook or Condor or something like that. The old Air Canada livery, very attractive on the A320. Now this, although it says American Transat, it's the old Monarch Airlines livery, the cheat line. This plane was leased in and sadly, of course, Monarch is long gone. And there, well, not long gone, a year or two, and there's a Qantas 747. Singapore 747, Swiss MD-11, and a Nippon Cargo Airlines 747 there. TriStar, love that plane. 727 Carnival, and there's Polar Air Cargo, which I'm not sure if they're still around. They might have got bought out by Atlas or someone. A Saudi TriStar, these have loads of these, but I think this one was probably a government plane. And there is a Philippines MD-11. And a Delta MD-11. Hawaiian Airlines DC-10, this came from American Airlines. This was what replaced their TriStars that they got from All Nippon Airways, I think. And there's an LR 747. Another shuttle by United 737, but there's a lovely TWO TriStar in that classic livery. Let's see, skip through some of these, not so interesting. Malaysian 747, and here's some nice tails, Lufthansa, Korean Air and China Airlines. A Pan Am A300, I think this is the relaunched Pan Am, And there's Virgin in its old livery, and there is the new TWA livery on, I think that's a 767 or a 757? 767. Another VASP MD-11 and a Continental, which is now United, of course, 737. There's a nice grouping of United Airlines planes in the old and new livery. DC-10 in the old livery, 747s, a 200 and a 400 in the new livery. There, of course, is a DC-10 of Northwest, and there's one of United's commuter planes. There's the back half of that as VASP MD-11, and there's the Asiana 747 there. Let's see. There's a Northwest 757, slightly modified livery. It's just the grey and the white. It doesn't have the red and the dark. And there's one of America West's old liveries, and is that another Western Pacific? Yes, it is. Like I said, they advertise so many different things. The old BA livery, the old Canadian livery, and this, what is this, Aero California, I think that's actually a Mexican airline. Classic Air France livery, and he is the Air Pacific, which is the Fiji airline, and I always loved this colour scheme. It's very simple, but very striking. Lone Star State for Southwest 737. There's two Alaska, no, actually that's Frontier, and that is Alaska at the bottom. Right. Mexicana, long gone now. Aero Peru, long gone now. LAN Chile, still here, of course. Interesting collection of Air New Zealand 747s en route to and from London to Auckland via Los Angeles in both directions. And there's Delta, an MD-11 and a 767, and there's a KLM tail with an Alaska plane there. It's a very nice, I think this is an MD-90 of TWA. Very nice. I did like this later livery. It's a shame the airline didn't last so long. There's a FedEx A310 and a Mesa Air commuter. It's a very ugly looking plane. There's a very nice United 737, and here's another commuter behind the Delta TriStar. And there's a Delta 757, a TWA 727, and a Vanguard Airlines. They're long gone now, they were very small. 737, it's quite an attractive livery with the white, red and the grey. 747 SP. Now, what airline is that again? It's Australia Asia, which was like the offshoot of Qantas that they used to fly to Taiwan. You know, like there's Air France, AZ, KLM Asia, British Asia Airways. All of the airlines had a subdivision to do flights to Taiwan, so as not to arouse the wrath of China. And there's a China Eastern Airlines MD-11. Couple of tails, KLM and Virgin, and there's a United 747. There's a very nice one of an Eva Air 747. A lot of their 747s, only this part forward was a passenger cabin, all the rest was cargo. So it only would seat about 150 people, which is like less than the 737. And there's a couple of America West planes. 757, 737, there's another Qantas 747. That route's now flown by the A380 for Qantas. A couple of Dutch airlines, KLM 747, Martin S 767. I saw one of these at Havana Airport when I was coming back from Cuba back in 2010. We flew from Guadalajara to Havana and then on to the UK. And there was one of these parked there. It looked ever so pristine, but apparently they're all very clapped out inside, is what I've heard. So what else? This is just about it. America West 737, Korean 747 with an EVA Air tail. And there is a Reno Air MD-90. They got bought out by American Airlines many years ago, but they flew a lot of West Coast routes. And I think there's one more, yes. A JAL 747. Very nice. I did like this livery. I have to admit, I'm less keen on the current one. It just looks very uninspired. But that is our look at LAX. There are many other books I have about airports, like Kai Tak, Gatwick, Manchester Airport, Birmingham Airport, and a bunch of others. So perhaps at some point we shall have a look at those, but I thought I would just share this with you. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or a suggestion for upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.